mock interview day 20. Previously, I've already uploaded 19 mock interviews. If someone missed it, right, whoever watching this video on YouTube, you can check out in my playlist. You can find a DevOps interview questions and answers. There you can find all 20 mock interviews. So go and watch every mock interview. It will help you a lot. And I am going to upload the next mock interview if I get 50 likes on this video, because we are we are contributing our time, right? So if you like, right, at least it will get a motivation for us to upload the videos, because we are taking out of time and we are participating. So if I get 50 likes, definitely I'm going to start. So today Sai is going to participate in this mock interview, and Sai is also not interested to join, so you need to like this video. Yeah, Sai, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Paul. Good evening. My name is Manjunath.
Very good evening, Sai. How are you?
Yeah, fine, doing good.
Super. Okay, I just want you to just let me know your total experience.
Yeah, I have 3+ years experience in DevOps.
That's great. Okay. I just want you to tell me about yourself, like what you will do and all.
Yeah, my name is Manjunath. I have 3 years experience in the field of DevOps, where I've been deployed, involved in the software development and deployment process efficiently in I should automated pipeline, and I have strong foundation in Git for source code management, Maven for build tool, and Docker for containerization, and Terraform for and Kubernetes and AWS tools. When coming to my roles in my previous company, I've been instrumental in setting up continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline using Jenkins and ensuring that every node undergoes a rigorous automated testing and deploying in various environments. And I had opportunity to leverage Docker for containerization, allowing us to team to package our application and dependencies to portable units. And and that can be constantly run in different environment and the development through the production. And I have worked on Grafana for monitoring through on Prometheus. It, and I have experience in Terraform. That's it, bro.
Super, super. Yeah, compared to last mock interview, you have improved a lot. Okay, and it is perfect. You just need to little bit fast, and yeah, that it will add an advantage. And yeah, you can practice more on this.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So let's start today's mock interview. Okay, today's mock interview majorly on Kubernetes itself. Okay, nowadays every interviews they are asking Kubernetes, so I just plan for Kubernetes. Okay, shall we
Okay.
start?
Yes.
Shall I share my screen so that
Yes.
you can able to read the question?
Yes. Yes.
Just let me know if you can able to see my screen.
Yes. One is visible.
Okay, so first question will be, what is the difference between this a replica set and a deployment?
Okay. In coming to the Kubernetes and deployment and replica set is they play major roles in Kubernetes. When coming to the difference between the deployment and replica set, uh, replica maintain the high availability and sorry, deployment has maintain the high availability and replica set has there is low availability. You can say that. And when coming to the when usage replicas are controlling replica controls the pods when coming to the deployment. So generally when used in an application we use deployment is used for deployment and management. And when coming to the replica sets, pods are manually updated by replica sets. And when coming to the deployment, pods are automatically managed. And when in coming to the in deployment, we can roll back and recreate the pods. When coming to the replica sets, we don't have that option.
Okay, I don't know. You have some. I think you have googled it and you are answering. You need to understand the concept. So inside the deployment itself, right, replicas is going to run.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I've asked the difference between replica set and deployment, and you are telling replica set as
I'm just telling the difference between about that. That's it.
yeah. So what is the difference in this? Tell me in single line.
Like deployment is replica cities depends on I mean deployment, and the pod is, depends upon replica set one. Okay.
I'm not asking about the depends on. I'm
Okay.
asking you the difference. What is the difference between replica set and deployment?
Deployment they are uh, like automatically automatically managed, and when coming to the replica set, you can do it manual.
Venkatesh, you want to try? Venkatesh,
Sure.
do you know the difference?
No, sir.
Okay. Sai, can you able to share me your screen and write a deployment file?
Yes, one. I'm sharing the screen.
Sharing?
It's visible.
It's loading. Yes, now I can able to see.
Okay. Deployment card path.
Yes. So API version kind metadata should be in same line. Okay, you are giving spaces, and API version is wrong. It's not V1. It is app slash
App
V1.
payment. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's right.
I don't know. We have discussed, right? I have told you in the previous class to practice any one deployment file. So if you have practiced, right, you will not take this much of time to write a deployment file. Okay.
Yes. Right.
You no need to like give that like that. Okay, spec after you need to give the colon.
Okay. You can give any container portal.
Sorry.
Nothing. Nothing.
No, no, like did you practice the deployment file or not?
Yes, man, I practiced.
If you practice, you will not do the mistake. You said containers. Container will be comes under pod spec, not under deployment. You will get a replicas, right? How many replicas you want to
No, no, no.
create,
Yes.
and you will not get a spec. You will get a template. Okay, under the template you will get a spec. Okay,
Like,
you here also you will get a spec, but you here you will give replicas. How many
like,
replicas you want to
like the
create,
customers. Yes.
and also you will give the strategy, right? Whether it is the rolling update or not. Okay, leave it. I will share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
So if you ask me to write, right, I will just like this, write like this. Okay, app slash v1 kind deployment metadata name my deploy spec replicas. I might be wrong, okay, but I'm just trying. Replicas will be 3. Okay, strategy rolling update. Okay, then you will be having template. Again, you will be having metadata. Okay, match labels. Okay, match labels will be whatever the label you have given. So if you have practiced, right, you will write the deployment file. I didn't even practice because of multiple times explanation, right? I remember this because I'm not looking for a job. Okay, right now I'm working on big MNC company, so I don't want to switch right now. If you have practiced, you will write at least these things, right? You are giving spaces in between, multiple spaces, right? There is no alignment. I already told you to practice one deployment file so that in the interview if they ask, if you write like this, definitely they will select you, right? Okay, what is the role of kube-proxy in Kubernetes?
The role of kube-proxy in the Kubernetes provides the networking for pods and nodes, worker nodes. It communicate with the worker node and master nodes.
Okay, while setting the Kubernetes cluster, how it will get a network using kube-proxy, but
You,
how kube-proxy will get a network?
by using the CNI one.
Sorry,
CNI,
CNI means
container network plugin.
container network. Sorry, I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
CNI, what is container network?
Container network interface. Sorry, interface.
Super, you are right. Container network interface. What is it? CNI means how many types of CNIs are there?
Three types of
Okay,
which we use like only final.
sorry, which one?
Final we will use.
Okay, what is that?
It will
No,
it
no,
will
no.
integrate
What is that?
as a CNI one.
It's a
Network of plugin.
plugin. It's a
Yes.
plugin.
Yes.
Yeah. So kube-proxy is majorly used for networking in Kubernetes. Okay. Shall we go to next question?
Yes, Paul.
And I will elaborate you more on this. Don't worry after completing the questions. Okay, someone is joining. Let me. I will explain. Akshay, you are too late. How networking is established in
But actually,
Kubernetes when hitting a service? Okay, whenever I hit a service, how networking is established?
It firstly it will use CNI. It will search for labels in Kubernetes.
Okay, from service, how the networking will be going to happen inside the Kubernetes? Akshay, you want
Same
to
one.
try?
so there are three types of services
No, I'm not asking about
regarding networking.
services. From
Okay.
services, how the networking is established in Kubernetes.
First is search for the services in YAML file one. If there is a label, you can they given any label,
Okay.
but
Yeah, you can tell whatever you know confidently, you can tell. No issues.
like selectors, labels. Why it will connect to the service and API server um, client request services also is there.
Shall I go to next question?
Yes, bro.
Okay, same. When I create a service in Kubernetes, can you tell me how exactly the networking established when I hit the service and how the request will reach to service? Okay, last question. What is horizontal pod autoscaling in Kubernetes?
Horizontal pod auto
So,
scaling in Kubernetes is usually for scale up and scale on the pods of replicas and by using the metrics pod.
By using the metrics.
Yes,
How you will
metrics.
collect the metrics?
In metrics that we can give the percent like 50%. If we give, it will take a single pod. If there is above 50%, it will take like it will auto scale
Okay. Shall we check the answers?
this pod.
Okay, what is the first question I have asked you?
What is the difference between deployment and replica set?
Okay. So what is the difference between a replica set and deployment? So in Kubernetes, both replica set and deployment are used to manage number of pod replicas to ensure availability and reliability of application. Okay.
Yes,
So however, they have different purposes and functionalities. So what is the replica set primary function? Replica set ensures that a specified number of pod replicas are running at any given time. It monitors the pod and creates or deletes them as necessary to maintain the desired state. Okay. In the class, what we have done, we have created a replica set, right? I have deleted a pod. Then automatically it has created a new pod, right?
yes, pod.
So generally used internally by deployment. I told you, right? Replica
Yes,
in the
yes.
deployment, replicas will be running. So to maintain number of pod replicas. So replica set do not provide a native way to perform rolling update and rollback. Yes, if you need to update pods managed by replica set, you would typically need to manually update the replica set configuration, which can be error prone and disruptive. So that's what I'm expecting. Deployment can able to roll back, right? Replica set cannot able to roll back. I am expected this answer, but you said something else. Primary function deployment provides security update to applications. It manages replica sets and provides mechanism for updating pod templates, scaling application, and rolling back to previous versions. SR SR did I told right in the class also what is
Yes,
this of
pod.
deployment? It can able to
Yes.
roll back to previous version, but replica set only manages the pod. That's the reason deployment was created. So this one I already clearly explained in the Kubernetes recent Kubernetes classes. I don't know you have joined or not. So usage will be preferred for managing stateless application because it's simplified updating applications and maintaining multiple versions, right? I told you for stateless application, right? Today in the today class, right? Stateful set is for the stateful application. Deployment is for
Deployment application.
stateless application. Rolling update and rollbacks. Deployment offers built-in support for rolling update where new version of pods are incrementally updated without downtime. Yes or no? They
Yes,
also
one.
support rollbacks to previous configurations in case of failures. So deployment manages replica set behind the scenes, creating new ones and scaling down old ones as necessary during updates. So this is the replica set manifest file, right? API version, kind, metadata, spec, replicas. So did I have written the same or not? Okay.
Yes.
Did I have written match labels? Yes or no? Template. I might be missed the selector, but at least did I have written the correct one or not?
Correct.
So this is the deployment manifest file. Okay, replica selector template. If you want to have a strategy, you can mention the strategy as well. So what is the key difference? Deployment are for managing lifecycle of applications, including updates and rollbacks. Right? Replica set are focused on maintaining a stable set of running pods. Okay. Deployment provide declarative updates and rollbacks, whereas replica set do not have built-in mechanism for rolling update. Deployment manage replica sets to ensure the desired state of the application when replica set directly manage the pods. Okay. If in summary, while replica set are crucial for maintaining pod replicas, deployment are higher level of abstraction that provides more advanced and user friendly features for application management. Okay. Now you got a clarity, right?
Yes, one.
Whenever asked in the interview what you need to tell, simple answer in single line you need to complete. Deployment supports rolling up, rolling back and rolling update, but replica set doesn't support that. Replica support only manage the pods. That's
Yes.
the answer. This was I expected. And then after I told you what is the role of kube-proxy. So kube-proxy is a network proxy that runs on each node in Kubernetes cluster. It is a key component of Kubernetes networking and serves the following roles, right? Service discovery and load balancing. Kube-proxy enables communication between different services in Kubernetes cluster. I told you, right? Networking will be managed by kube-proxy, nothing but communications, different services in Kubernetes cluster. It uses the Kubernetes API to get the list of services and their associate endpoints. It provides load balancing by distributing traffic across the pods that make up a service. Okay, when a client sends a request to service, kube-proxy routes the request to one of the available pods. Okay, so whenever the request is coming to service in the backend, kube-proxy will going to work. Okay, kube-proxy manages IP tables rules on the host system to ensure the traffic is properly routed to service endpoints. It creates and updates IP tables rules to capture traffic in service of virtual IP and redirect to appropriate backend ports. Okay, you can read it. Okay. In summary, kube-proxy is crucial for service discovery, load balancing, and managing network rules in Kubernetes cluster, ensuring that services are accessible and resilient. Okay.
Okay.
So how networking is established in Kubernetes when hitting a service? This is the third question I've asked you. Okay. When you create a service in Kubernetes, networking is established in a series of steps that involves multiple components. Here are the details walk through how a request reaches to Kubernetes service. Okay. When you create a service, Kubernetes assigns a stable IP address to a service. Okay. Whenever you create a service, your service will get an IP address. Okay. This service is linked to set of pods using label selectors. Okay.
Yes.
You are not able to tell this confidently. How service will work? Service will have labels, right? It will use using label concept. It will communicate. So which determine which pods are part of the service. So Kubernetes continuously watches for the state of the pods and updates the list of endpoints associated with the service. These endpoints are stored in Kubernetes API server and are used by kube-proxy on each node. Kube-proxy runs on each node in the cluster. It watches the Kubernetes API for changes to services and endpoints. Kube-proxy configures the networking rules on each node and enable traffic routing to appropriate pods. This can be done using IP tables. Nothing but IP tables, nothing but kube-proxy will maintain some table, okay, a list of table. In that he will add information. Like for example, if you have created a new pod, that pod will get an IP address or not.
This pod will get.
So that IP address will be maintained by kube-proxy. So I will show you the diagram. It will be better. Okay. Whenever client visit right to the service, okay, from service it will go to kube-proxy. Kube-proxy will check whether in the IP tables whether the IP address which you are requesting is available or not. Okay. Then from kube-proxy, from node, kube-proxy will take to the pod. Okay, and using that pod, client can able to access. Like how we are going to access our application, we will hit a public IP address and the port number. Yes or no?
This pod.
So whenever I hit that, the request will come to service.
Service, yes.
From service, the request will go to the kube-proxy, which is available on every node. Okay, from kube-proxy, the request will go to pod. But kube-proxy is a mediator. But you can tell in the interview if they ask, service have a label concept. Using that label, it will communicate with the pod. This is what simple answer. What if you want to tell in depth? Definitely you can read this. When a client hits a service in Kubernetes, request is routed through a series of networking rules managed by kube-proxy, which ensures that the request reaches on one of the pods backing the service. This process involves DNS resolutions, IP tables, IPv rules for traffic redirection, and load balancing to distribute the request across the available pods. Okay, when you hit the cluster IP of the Kubernetes service, your request is routed to several components and follow a specific network flow controlled primarily by a kube-proxy component. Okay, this is the client request. So this is the DNS resolution. My service default SVC cluster local. If you describe the service right, you will get this. Okay, then after kube-proxy, from kube-proxy, it will go to the. So kube-proxy uses IP tables, redirect the request from cluster IP to one of the backend pod IPs. Okay, how the redirection will happen? They will follow some route robin method. So the request is forwarded through the node's network interface to the appropriate pod IP and port. So you are right. You are told right. Container network interface CNI plugin handle to network connectivity between nodes and pods. Calico Flannel View. So one of the plugin we have installed right while setting the Kubernetes cluster.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
So then after I've asked you what is the horizontal pod autoscaling in Kubernetes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, horizontal pod autoscaling in Kubernetes refers to automatic adjustment of number of pod replicas based on metrics such as CPU utilization or custom metrics. You said this correct. Okay, it helps in scaling the application horizontally by increasing or decreasing the number of pods to match the current demand. So HPA can scale based on various metrics, the most common being CPU utilization. Okay, it can also use custom metrics or external metrics. Example, memory usage. So target utilization, you define a target metric value. Example, 50% CPU utilization. Okay.
Yes.
So this is the HPA example. Okay. You maintain minimum replicas, maximum replicas. Whenever I get a huge traffic, right, it will increase the replicas. I given the maximum and minimum. If there is no traffic, it will run 2 pods. If the traffic is getting huge, the 2 will be going to increase. And what is the maximum? It will go for 10 pods. Okay.
Yes.
So if you see scale target reference, this specifies the target resource to scale in this case. Okay. Minimum replicas, maximum replicas. Metrics, define the metrics to monitor in each, in this case, CPU utilization with a target average utilization of 50%. Nothing but whenever the CPU is more than 50%, then it will going to scale. Okay. So if you have seen the summary, HPA in Kubernetes automatically adjusts the number of pod replicas and respond to changing workloads using metrics such as CPU utilization. This feature helps ensure that applications run efficiently, maintain performance, and optimize resources. Like every time you no need to go into the deployment file and increase the replicas, right? You no need to do that. If you write this HPA, right, different separate manifest file, okay, you need to give the deployment name in this. Okay,
Fine.
then automatically that particular deployment, it will going to, if you see kind deployment, what is the name of your deployment? My
Yeah.
app. So whatever the deployment you will be having, right, you need to give that deployment name, then automatically it will maintain this deployment. Whenever there is a depending upon the CPU utilization, it will automatically increase the pod and decrease the pod. You don't need to go every time inside the deployment file and edit that replicas. Okay, you got it right.
Yes,
That's it,
yes,
I
Paul.
will stop the recording.